You've seen how we can use regular Swift conditions to present either one kind of view or another kind of view, using code similar to this. If bool.random, then do a rectangle, else do a circle. That. Now remember, when you're doing these kinds of code, make sure you're inside either your body property or using view builder or group or similar to make it compile correctly. Now, where conditional views are particularly useful is when you want to show one of several different kind of views depending on different program state. And if we plan it correctly, we can keep our view code small and also easy to maintain. It's a great way to start your brain to think along the lines of how SwiftUI architecture should work. Now, there are two parts to this kind of solution. The first is to define an enum that will store the various view states you want to represent. For example, you might say there's a loading state enum with case loading, case success, and then case failed. And then you'd make individual views for each one of those states. You might say there's struct loading view. That's a view with var body. Some view has text of loading. And then you might say there is a success view, which is a view with var body. Some view has text success. And then we'll do one more, struct failed view. View var body. Some view has text failed. So we've got 3 views, one for each of the kind of thing you want to represent. And they could be nested inside the parent view if you want to, but they don't have to be. It really depends on whether you plan to use them elsewhere, quite frankly. And of course, the size of your application. With those two in place though, we now effectively use content view as a simple wrapper that tracks the current app state and shows one of those other 3 views as appropriate. One of these 3 sort of child views. And this means we'll give it a property to store the current loading state. We'll say var loading state is loading state.loading. And then we can fill in the body property with code to choose one of those 3 views based on the enum state. So we can say if loading state is equal to .loading, then do loading view. Else if loading state is equal to .success, then do success view. And then else if, not here, sorry, else if loading state is failed, then do failed view. And that works just as well, of course, with switch case, which means it's exhaustive, which is really, really nice. So we could have said, for example, switch on loading state, and then case loading that, and then case success is that, dot loading, sorry, and then case dot failed is that. They both work just as well depending on the coding style you want to have. And that's it. And it means that our content view here doesn't try to spiral out of control. It tries to handle more and more code in loading view or success view or failed view. It doesn't get bigger and bigger and bigger. Plus, it's more reusable. And ultimately, it has no idea what it's trying to load. It's just told elsewhere, hey, you're now loading, and it'll do the right thing automatically. It has no idea what loading or success or failed even looks like. That's all handled elsewhere.